So here's the most recent addition to the family of tools here on my channel. This is from Harbor Freight. It's a 21 gallon, 2.5 horsepower, 125 psi air compressor. I needed something that was portable, so in case I need to go somewhere else and do some work, then I can bring it with me. So this is just about as big as you can go with still making it portable to where you can fit it in a truck bed or pick it up and move it by yourself. It's not very heavy. It's probably about 100 pounds or so. It came with wheels and a handle. They were not installed. There's one wheel on each side. There's a bolt that goes through the middle with a spacer and then a nut on the inside. I just Loctited those on. So those you do have to install. And then you have to install the exhaust filter here, which quiets it down quite a bit. That just screws in. That's really easy to install. And then you have an air hose. I bought a 50-foot. They come in, I believe, 25 or 50. It's a 3/8 airline. The fitting that came on the compressor, I took off and I went and bought a fitting at Home Depot because it leaked extremely bad. When I plugged in the fitting, the male fitting into the female fitting was leaking really bad, so I went and got a new one. That's why it has this red tape on it. It's because it's not from Harbor Freight, it's from Home Depot. So there's the on-off switch. It shuts off at about 125 psi and then kicks back on when it gets down to around 100, I believe. You can adjust the output pressure right there. You are going to lose some pressure in the line. I don't have a gauge yet, but I want to guess it's around 15 to 20 psi from the pressure here to the pressure at the end of the line of the tool you put in. So if the pressure is required to be at about 90, I'd recommend putting at least 10 or 15 psi above that. So I'd set it to about 110 or so, or 100, and go from there. It requires a regular 120 volt outlet. It pretty much needs a dedicated circuit for just this. So if you're going to run any other power tools, I'd recommend running them on a different circuit. I don't have much of a choice in my garage. Everything runs on the same circuit, but I can make do with it. It's not a problem. Just make sure you have everything else off that requires a lot of power. So what I got along with it was I got the compressor. The compressor came with the fitting there, the wheels, the handle, the exhaust muffler there. The hose I had to buy separate. I want to say that was around 30 bucks. I also got a framing nailer. It's a 28-degree framing nailer. There's the specs on it as far as gallons required for the compressor and stuff like that. I'm not going crazy nuts with it or anything. It'll just be for small projects, refinishing rooms and houses and stuff like that. I'm not running a whole construction crew off this air compressor or anything like that. So there's the nails. Whenever you buy framing nails for a framing hammer, you have to make sure that they're the right angle, 28-degree angle right there, and then the length that you need. And then you need to make sure it's the right gauge as well. So, and then the nailer actually has the information right there where you load the nails on the nail requirement. Along with this came, I got a Central Pneumatic air compressor, basically like a starter kit. It says right there, starter kit, 17-piece, and it came with a bunch of fittings. I'll go through all of them as I have a lot of them installed on my tools already. The nailer came with this one already on it. I did not have to install that one. There's the compressor startup instructions. Basically, connect the air line, close the drain valve on the bottom of the tank, which I'll show you. It's right there. So righty tighty, lefty loosey, that's just to let the air out of the tank. Make sure that's closed, obviously, before you start it. Fill the compressor with oil. It came with this 165 milliliter compressor oil. The compressor did. It came inside the box. That's the exact amount you need to fill the compressor completely. And there's the window on the side. I don't know if you guys can tell from the video, but it fills it up exactly to where it needs to be. You need to check that before each time you use the air compressor. It's filled right there. Just use a funnel and pour a little bit in there when needed. The compressor does have a reset. It has its own circuit, so if the circuit pops on it for whatever reason, there's the button to reset it. It's 15 amps. I went to Home Depot and bought additional fittings as well, because with a leaky compressor, it's going to kick on a lot more often and wear out the engine a lot faster. So the less leaks you have throughout your tools, the better. So although these fittings, they didn't have any made in the US, they're made in China, they seem to work better than the ones that came with the compressor. So although this is good to have, and you might have better luck than I did, I might have just got one faulty part that's causing everything to leak. But I'd recommend making sure that you do not have any leaks. So if you want to go with this, that's fine. But if it doesn't seal for whatever reason, then buy some better quality fittings, or buy different fittings until you get ones that work properly. The kit came with a tire filler, which there's one of the male fittings that I used out of the kit, and then a regular typical on-off spray valve, which I used a little Teflon, and this is how I'm going to clean my carbs from now on, is using this now. And then use one of the fittings for there. And then I also bought the professional grade 3/8 air ratchet. I also do plan on getting a 1/2 inch air ratchet as well. I upgraded from the cheap one was 20 bucks, and I know I'm going to use it a lot. I have a lot of projects coming up all the time, so it's better to upgrade on the tools, in my opinion, than it is to buy a bigger air compressor or have to buy the tools over and over again. This was still cheaper than buying, I believe it was $70 for this air ratchet, versus I think the cheapest one at any of the other stores is around 100 bucks. So I still saved a little bit of money. I bought the 1-year extended warranty on the air compressor as well. I think it was $30. It was $154 on sale at Home Depot, and then I paid the extra 30 bucks or 40 bucks or whatever it was for the 1-year extended warranty. I got some 3/8 deep well impact sockets as well, because I already have the 1/2 inch impact sockets, but they are on my or I've been using them on my 1/2 inch impact that is electronic, and I'd like to switch over and get a pneumatic one that works a lot better. The air seems to work a lot better than the electronics do. So all in all, between all this stuff, not including the extra fittings I bought, I believe it was around $420, and that was with those nails as well. So I got the air compressor, the hose line, the starter kit, the framing nailer, the nails, the ratchet, the impact sockets, the hose, and then I also bought an extra container of oil, which is right over here, and I believe it was $420 something and some change. So hopefully this will make videos a lot easier. I can get projects done a lot faster now, so I can get more videos out, because it won't take me as long with having the air ratchet and the blowgun here to blow out carbs and stuff like that. It'll be a lot faster. So I did run the air compressor for a little bit, and everything seemed to be working fine. I'm not going to do like a break-in period or drain the oil out or anything like that. I'm just going to leave the oil in there. I think that it'll be fine. Unless I see debris or something floating in there, then I'll switch it out. But for now, I think that'll be all right. One thing I might do is buy a 90-degree adapter fitting, so that drops straight down, so the quick disconnect drops straight down, so I can go right into that loop without having to be kinked like that, because eventually that'll cause that fitting to leak. So if it were to come straight down, that'd be a lot less likely to happen. So if you're considering getting one, it's well worth it in my opinion. I haven't had any problems with it yet. Runs great. I sank a couple nails with the framing nailer when I got home. Worked great. Ran the air ratchet. Also worked great. So if you're considering picking one up or thinking about air compressor, that'd be a good choice to go with.